Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to finally be talking about my tier list. And like I've said before, my tier list is not a conventional tier list. I don't make it the way normal people would. So normally you'll see like an S plus through F type tier list. And Mine's consisted of 3 different categories. So we've got universal heroes, we've got heroes you build a team around, and then you've got counter or utility heroes. And I feel like this is a better way to help you with team building and things like that, because when you're ranking individual heroes in the classic way of doing a tier list, I feel like it doesn't tell enough of the story of what this hero can do, where they fit into the game, what their role is on certain teams, and all that kind of stuff. So in this way, where I'm doing it, you can kind of understand the role that they would play on a team, and what you can use them for, and where you can use them, like on just certain specific teams, or you could use them on many different teams, that kind of thing. So without going too much further into it, let's just talk about what each of these categories stand for. So the first category that we have here is the universal heroes, and these are heroes that are strong enough to build a team around while also having enough utility to fit on pretty much every team you can think of. So for example, Thedor is the new hero. He has the hero that's placed behind him is known as his lieutenant, and he feeds that hero a bunch of energy at the start of the fight, also increases their crit chance, and when that hero does their first ultimate, he puts Dark Moon on the battlefield. And this is why he's so versatile, is because his Dark Moon skill lowers physical and magical defense. Normally it's only one or the other, but he actually reduces both. So this allows him to fit on many different types of teams, whether it's a physical damage team or a magic damage team. He has the ability to bring utility to really any of those teams. Now, he isn't like a big damage dealer or anything, but he still universally could be used anywhere pretty much. So yeah, that's why he's on this list, and that's why he's in the S tier. And if I didn't mention, I have these categories broken down into like S tier and A tier, S, A, and B tier, and then S and A tier down here. So we've also got Damien in here. He's another really solid tank that can really fit on most any teams you can think of, because he provides really strong shielding for your damage dealer. Also, he heals when shields expire, and he's really good. I've seen him solo teams at the end of a fight, and I've seen him outlast teams that have like 4 heroes, and it's all 1v4. So he can do some pretty crazy things damage wise, and as a tank be very tanky and supportive of your big damage dealer. So he's kind of like a secret win condition when you use him, and that's really good for pretty much any type of team you can find out there. Then we have a hero like Lily May, who you can slot her into really any team and have success with her because she blocks ultimates. Being able to block an ultimate is just a universally welcomed skill, so having her on any team can be really good. Then we have heroes like Siren, who, he has a really unique skill where he shuts down the artifact of the enemy team for the first 8 seconds of a fight. No other hero can do that, and that can be utilized on pretty much any type of team you're building for PvP. And before we go further, I don't know if I mentioned, but this is a PvP focused tier list. I didn't take anything into account PvE wise. So yeah. And then not only is Siren very unique in the fact that he shuts down the enemy artifact, he also pulls in the enemy team with his ultimate, and he can insta-kill them, making him really good in many different situations with that. Has battlefield manipulation, he throws heroes that get close to him, all that good stuff. So yeah, he's definitely an S tier universal hero. Also, you have heroes like Hugin and Ludovic. Hugin throws out shield after shield very fast, and these aren't just normal shields. These shields make your heroes CC immune. They also provide damage reduction. It's a really strong utility hero that provides tons of survivability to your team and can fit on pretty much any team you can find. Ludovic's also the same way. He's a little bit of a triple threat. So he has CC with his Everbloom field. He also heals a ton with his Everbloom field, and he can do damage with it. And it's actually significant damage. I've seen him do pretty big damage hits with his Everbloom field when a hero is standing in it, and it can be pretty devastating for a team. So he's another really strong universal hero that can fit on a lot of different teams. Then we have the A tier heroes that I think belong up here in the universal tier, and those are heroes like Kulu, Aaron, Thorin, Twins, Dunliner, Tassie, Pesto, Callan, and Taline. And the reason they're down here in the A tier, Kulu, mainly because she's hard to get, but she also doesn't really always fit on like a melee team, for example. And all these heroes down here, they fit on a lot of teams, but not as many as these S tier universal heroes do. So Kulu might not fit on a lot of melee teams. Aaron might not fit on like a single target physical damage type team because he reduces magic defense, and his tornado groups up enemy heroes, so you want AoE heroes with him. Also, you would want them to be magic damage dealers. Thorin, he's just a good all-around tank that can fit on most any type of team, protecting the hero that's connected to him. Also, he revives, so he's just got a solid kit that can be universally welcome on most teams. Twins, they can also be used on a ton of different teams, but you don't want to use them on just any team. You do want to have a reason to use them. Dunliner's the same way. He's kind of like Lily May, but he's another hero that's hard to get for a lot of players, so that's why I don't have him up here on the S tier. But most teams can utilize the ability that he has to shut down the enemy team's ultimates while also protecting one of your heroes so that they can do their ultimate. And then we also have Tassie down here. She has she can do a ton of damage, and she also brings a lot of CC utility to any team that she's on. But you're not always going to want to use Tassie on every team. She doesn't always fit, so yeah. And then Pesto's just another really solid tank, same with Callan, and Taline's in the same boat as like Dunliner and stuff. She just has a unique kit because she can always revive and come back to the battlefield, so that can always be a welcome skill for a lot of different teams. So that's the universal heroes tier. Then we have the heroes you build a team around, and these are heroes that are strong enough to build a team around, but they lack utility that would allow them to be put onto pretty much any team. So a hero like Athalia, you maybe would think that she'd be like a universal hero, but she's really just a strict damage dealer, and she's a pretty squishy damage dealer. She does go into her lance form, but if your team isn't utilizing, if you're not choosing teammates to utilize that lance form, it's not going to be a benefit for you. So if she's on a team where a bunch of her heroes are also going to die pretty quick or not last very long, then her lance form is pretty much wasted. That's why you want to use her, and that's why she's so good with heroes like Igor or Tassie, because they pretty much almost guarantee to prolong the fight. Now there are counters to this, but for the most part, she's not really a hero you can just throw on any team. You need to have one of these two heroes to really make her pop off and do what her unique skill set can do. Bonnie is another example. You might think she would be up here in the universal tier, but you wouldn't use her on a physical damage team, and that's one of the things that's really important about these universal heroes is they can be used on a physical or a magical damage team. It doesn't matter. And Bonnie, if you use her on a physical team, you're never going to activate her dot damage, so it just makes her that much worse, and she becomes a hero that you might as well not even use on that team because, well, she's not going to be running at her full potential. And then I have Citrana in here because, well, Citrana might not necessarily be S tier on her own in this category, but Bonnie and Citrana together, I feel like they are S tier, and you can find teams that do really make Citrana a force to be reckoned with, but yeah, for the most part, Bonnie and Citrana together are an S tier combination. And when you're building a team, you're usually always going to start with one of these heroes in this category, and then you're going to build your team around that hero to support their skill set. So for example, if I'm using Bonnie, I would definitely want to use Siren to help get another stack of her aging debuff, and then I'd want to use a hero like Niru. I made a video about them yesterday. They are able to trigger the Bonnie's dot damage super fast, and since it's a trio of heroes, it leaves 2 spots open, so you can adjust to whatever defense you're fighting against, or if you're using this team on defense, you can use whatever 2 heroes to make your defense as strong as possible for the stuff you see on your server. So yeah, everybody's server's different, so you're not always going to be fighting against the same teams. Then we have Shamira in here as the last hero for the S tier, and she's just a straight up damage dealer. She really doesn't have much utility for that she provides to her team, and it's all, when you're building a Shamira team, it's all about her getting to her ultimate. So pairing her with a hero like Thedor from the Universal tier would be a really good combination. That's one of the obvious combinations you could use, but yeah, I feel like these 4 heroes in the S tier of this category they make up some of the best PvP teams in the game at the moment. And then we've got the A tier heroes, which consist of like Harak, Cryanaya, Dio, Baelran, and these are all really strong heroes that you can build really strong teams with, but they have some... They're pretty much countered by all these heroes up here. So you can counter all of these Cryanaya teams, Harak teams, Dio teams. You can counter them all with an Athalia team, a Bonnie team, or a Bonnie Citrana team, or you can counter them with a Shamira team. It all depends on who the heroes are that are supporting these heroes down here, and how you're gonna counter those supporting heroes of that team. So yeah, when you're team building, you're going to start with choosing one of the heroes in this area, and remember guys, this is a game, so maybe you want to build a Seth team. Just because he's down here on the A tier doesn't mean he's horrible or anything like that. It just means you just have to build around his skills a bit more, because he's going to be more of a limited teams and things like that. So he's not going to have as many teams that you could use with him, but you could find a really strong team. There's just not going to be like a whole bunch of Seth teams that are super strong. So he's limited in what he can, do with a full Seth team. So, and also Seth and Shakir pair really well together. Parissa, she's another good hero. If you pair her with Aaron and the twins and things like that, you can make a Parissa burst type team. And yeah, you can make a lot of cool teams with all these heroes. It's just all about knowing what heroes can synergize with them. So when you're building your team, you're gonna have to read skills. I know you guys don't like to read skills, but you're gonna have to do it. I'm really sorry, but you're gonna want to know what your DPS heroes can do like the back of your hand. So yeah, just keep that in mind when you're team building, because I know a lot of people like to just come in here or find a team to just be told what to run, but PvP in this type of a game just doesn't work like that. It's a rock, paper, scissors game, so it's all about the knowledge you know and how much you know about all the heroes in the game and when to use them in certain situations and all that good stuff. So yeah, now that's the first 2 categories. Our last category down here is the counter or utility heroes, and then the heroes that are left over are just like mainly heroes that I would only use in PvE. So anyway, the counter or utility heroes are heroes that aren't strong enough to build a team around, but they bring enough utility to a team that they're usable, and they can be used on most any teams. So for example, yesterday I was fighting that Cryanaya Kulu Dunlinger team, and I needed I needed to shut down the Crying Naya long enough so I could kill her and allow the Bonnie's dot damage to kick in. So what I needed to do was, since Lily May alone wasn't enough, I needed to stun the enemy Crying Naya with Sylvina from down here, and then allow Lily May to block the first ultimate, and that bought me enough time to actually kill the Crying Naya and allow the dot damage to then tear through the rest of the team. And once the Crying Naya was dead, the win condition was done for that team, and there really wasn't anything else to worry about. So you want to identify, you know, what the defense or the team you're fighting, whether you're on defense or offense. You need to identify the win conditions that team has, and then you need to find heroes from the utility counter tier that can support your damage dealer or your universal hero that is the focus of your team. And whatever hero is going to help get that job done. Like if you're fighting an Igor Athalia team, a Niru is going to be really good at getting rid of the Igor tombstones, because his normal attacks hit everything on the battlefield. So the Igor is going to lose a lot of those tombstones, which provide him the fatal blow protection, and that's going to counter an Igor Athalia really, really well. Nara can also counter a lot of different types of teams, because if the team isn't positioned properly, Nara can pull a really important hero over to your side, and she can just nuke them down with her ultimate. Sylvina's the same type of deal. If they aren't positioned properly, you can use Sylvina to target a really sensitive hero, take them down to a really low HP. If you have Harak on that team, the Harak will use Tidal Assault 4 seconds into the fight, right before the stun from Sylvina ends, and Harak will eat that hero. It'll reset Harak's cooldown of Tidal Assault, and then he'll eat another hero, and he'll just keep doing that over and over again. And the combination of Sylvina and Harak is an extremely strong combination. However, it's countered with smart positioning, so it's not always usable on things like defense or whatever. It's more of an offensive team. Then you got heroes like Valara. Maybe you need to shut down, or maybe you need to reduce the enemy team's haste, or maybe you need some healing really quickly in the fight at the very, very start, and she can provide something like that. You got Rainier, so if the enemy team's again not positioning their heroes properly, you could do a Rainier swap. You got Leica, who provides energy and attack speed all throughout the fight. It's not just at the beginning. She does that over and over again. Walker is another hero that is got a lot of CC. He stuns the enemy team at the start of the fight. He's also stunning them throughout the fight and interrupting them. You got Scarlita for shielding, all that kind of good stuff. You know, there's all kinds of situations that these heroes are good for. You just need to know where they are and how to identify them and understand what teams you are fighting and all that kind of good stuff. So anyway, that's my tier list. I hope this made some kind of sense for you guys. I don't know. I've tried many times to film this video today, and I was not happy with really any of the results. But I'm hoping this is enough to make sense of it and to help you guys with your team building. So remember, you're going to want to either choose one of the damage dealers down here from the heroes you build a team around, and then you focus on, you know, supporting that hero. Or maybe you don't have to pick just one. You can pick 2 different heroes, but for the most part, it's usually just going to be one of these heroes down here, and then you support them with some of your universal heroes or your counter utility heroes down there, whether you need some healing or CC, you know, all that kind of good stuff. But anyway, I'm going to put this tier list in my Discord, so if you guys have questions, you can always leave them in the comments or join my Discord and ask me in there. I always try to reply to my comments and everything and answer whatever questions you have. So yeah, this can also help with your wish list stuff. So you don't want to fill your wish list up with all, you know, heroes from this category, you know, because you're just not going to have much success in PvP then, because you're just going to have a bunch of damage dealers and no utility or survivability or any of that other important stuff. So yeah, a team doesn't just consist of DPS heroes. You need a mixture of everything. But anyway, I really hope this made some kind of sense and you guys got something out of this. But remember, I have a loot bar link down below, my Discord link's down there, and if you can, please like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. I really like brownness, yeah. Yummy.